And authoritarianism is coming out on all sides as well, by the way.
Where does that leave liberal democracy, this phrase that often gets bandied around? All of these democratic national units around Europe and America that have been flourishing and thriving for such a long time feel like they require a certain degree of baseline agreement about what constitutes knowledge, what constitutes a fair decision, who should be allowed to do what against who. If that breaks down into these tribes that you're talking about, how will we be governed?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? And it's been breaking down for a long time. This is a much longer and bigger issue than just COVID or even culture war. It's about what a society is and what its sources of authority are. And we've gone through a whole process of in the whole of the West, transitioning from being basically Christendom, a society which had a sacred story, right? So a religious story ties a culture together. It gives it a sense of a symbolic meaning. And our symbolic meaning was the Christian story. And we started to abandon that in the 18th century, and we moved into another story with a different symbolic meaning. And this was the story of progress. And progress was a materialist story. There was no longer anything so-called supernatural. We moved into the story of progress, material, measurement, science, technology, reason, all of that stuff. That started to break down really in the 20th century, I think. It wasn't really sustainable to talk about progress after the Holocaust. And the more problematic we saw science and materialism to be, and the more we realized that materialism wasn't enough for us as human beings, then that story started to break down as well. So Christendom broke down as our source of symbolic meaning. Progress has broken down as our source of symbolic meaning. So we're a society in the West that doesn't have a source. We don't know who we are. We don't know what to believe in. So we just